Don't get me wrong.
Liberal woman starts screaming at the baby, prompting a Kamala Harris supporter to intervene and pull her away. So much joy. The incident happened outside of a Harris Houston rally. All I have to say is this: maybe this white girl was like, hey, let's play the good cop, bad cop. I'm going to scream, you protect the kid, and maybe the kid is going to view you in a different way. Because even though one black lady did agree with the father in the way that, hey, you can't speak to kids like that, nobody else helped out. That's wild. And to add context, I had to re-edit the video to add this.
I fucking love the internet. I'm never leaving. So like a half an hour ago, I put out a post asking people to help identify this girl because she did this. By the way, I'm sure that woman right there, who's actually holding a Harris Walls sign, yeah, she's going to be voting Trump. Because that face screams, what the f*** is wrong with you, you little white bitch? Like, she just created a MAGA. Yep! Anyway, so this girl has already been identified as Jordan Bowen. She is an actor hired by the Democrat Party. And you want to see something even cooler? Within like 5 minutes, we already had the records of her getting paid by the Democrat Party. See, here we got 2 payments being paid to Jordan Bowen. She was paid as an organizer, a total of $4,000. The internet will forever remain undefeated because all I said was, hey, can somebody help me find out who she is? And within like an hour, we had her name and her records of being paid by the Democrat Party. Y'all are awesome. I'm never leaving.
The fact that you can get paid and you can act like that and you still get paid, who the heck is sowing hate? No wonder you blame that they're sowing hate. That doesn't justify that you can do it for money.
Been empowering for me. You know, the teleprompter, I'm having a hard time seeing it, guys. I'm just being real here.
Open your eyes. Open your eyes.
So it's been powerful to encourage young.
Is that now the new normal? I mean, everybody knows that the vice president is very scripted, but now everybody else that votes for her is going to be scripted too? That's wild that you actually say that out loud at her rally.
Ill and dying. Nationwide, I think someone needs some medical assistance over here.
In all honesty, I feel very bad for the guy shaking on the floor, but at the same time I'm like, why the heck did Beyonce not perform and piss you off so much? Did you go for Kamala or a free show? That's like you want handout. You're the community of the handouts. That's why you have a bunch of abortion experts right on the stage. A man is shaking on the floor, and that seems kind of ironic that it happened like that. But you couldn't even focus because you didn't get your free show. You got pissed and you start screaming at the person that was going to give you the thing that you really wanted, which is surprising. I'm like, wow.
She's using her color. I thought that Martin Luther King said the color wasn't the issue. I thought it was the content of our character that we were supposed to be recognized for. But if she's going to keep running on that color, she's going to have a misconception about how black people really roll.
If you bring somebody into office that looks like you, but then continues to detriment your community, what was that for? But if you choose somebody who can raise your community, then you chose the right one.
Wait,
so
who do you choose?
personally, I choose Trump.
I'm looking for who I think is more qualified to run the country. That's all I'm looking at.
Black Latinos are starting to be a little bit more critical. They're fed up of their hard-earned money going to illegal, undocumented people.
Kamala Harris did not do a good job on the border because from what I know, a lot of people were coming from the other side and doing a lot of bad things to what we call home.
I think she's not a good candidate for president because she's with Joe Biden for the past 2 years, a wreck up in New York, you know.
Colors don't matter, man.
Right, they don't.
Ask God, man.
That's true. So what do you think about a candidate that uses their race as a selling point? Do you think
Yeah, that's some weird.
that's weird?
You lost. You lost already. 2024. If you racist today, you lost. Nobody going against Trump.
It's not about race, it's about what they provide for the society, is what they could do for the community.
With her putting a lot of black Americans in jail for the marijuana, they're not really going for her.
We also got people's thoughts on Trump's recent comments on Harris's ethnicity.
She was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not alone. There's so many people that think like me. But the fact that people feel comfortable now to be able to say it and people can just say, you're the only one, you start realizing, hey, if we all can open our mouth and we normalize and we don't silence people, people are going to speak out. So your silence might normalize something wild. Speak out. Be like me. Be like you. Whatever you want to be.
Yeah, she was Hindu when it suited her purpose, you know, and now that she's running, the black vote suits her purpose. So like Trump said, you know, now she's black.
Donald Trump is absolutely right. Her mother's Indian, her father's Irish Hindu, and she's always presented herself as Indian.
What do you think about Trump saying Kamala Harris is black? I thought she was Indian. She was saying she was Indian.
That's my response. Trump is an open book, yo. Facts.
That is the most beautiful thing you can say. That is the most beautiful thing you can hear. When somebody says, you know that person? Yeah, he's an open book because they're honest. It might be a rough, bad gangster book, but at least you know what you're reading. You're not going to read Games of Thrones and suddenly you're talking about Papa Smurf.
Trump is an open book, yo. Facts.
That's just Trump being Trump. I don't believe he's racist. I don't even think he has a racist bone in his body.
Trump said that Kamala Harris always portrayed herself to be Indian, and now all of a sudden she's saying she's black.
Right? Nah, she's really Indian. She just want our support. She trying to snatch our support away from Trump. But that's not how that's going down.
So my point with this clip, ladies and gentlemen, this is how poor people think. And those that you see generally on TV with her, those generally are not poor people. Those are middle class or rich people that talk about how the poor people are feeling. They know better than us. Usually when they do a Google search.
This message is for Beyonce. Beyonce, we don't give a damn about you. We don't give a damn about how many speeches you read from a teleprompter, how many rituals you do, or what kind of voodoo you do. Texas will forever be a red state. It will forever be a red state. It will always be a red state. I don't give a fuck what you do. And for you to come out here and try to finesse the black vote for a politician who don't even have no plans for your community goes to show us how much you care about your own people. What you need to be worried about is P. Diddy. What you need to be worried about is Jeff Epstein. What you need to be worried about is Jaguar Wright. What you need to be worried about is Aaliyah. What you need to be worried about is God. And you need to repent and not worry about where our vote is going. We don't care about you, Beyonce. Bye-bye, Beyonce. Because you got God's answer too, not us.
I like the fact that she said, if the people that you're voting for never did something for your community, who are you to tell me that I need to vote for this person that never did something correctly for your community? You've been voting Democrats more than 50 years. They've locked black people. Oh my, she has a lot of good points. So the fact that you want to speak about that, I'm like, ugh, why the heck are you asking me to vote for this person when these people want your show and you didn't give it to them?
So I think we got to have tough conditions. Tell people to come out of the shadows. If they've committed a crime, deport them. No questions asked. They're gone. If they've been working and are law-abiding, we should say, here are the conditions for you staying. You have to pay a stiff fine because you came here illegally. You have to pay back taxes, and you have to try to learn English, and you have to wait in line.
And that is Hillary Clinton in 2008, 16 years ago, if my math is right. She represents the Democrat that I was back in the day. Oh my God, she sounds like a right-winger.
So this week we learned that China was behind a broad hacking campaign targeting the phones of both presidential campaigns, highlighting the threat that China poses to this country. And yet Donald Trump recently called his domestic political opponents, quote, the enemy from within, and said they are more dangerous than Russia and China. Do you believe that people like Adam Schiff and Nancy Pelosi are more dangerous than Russia and China?
Well, I think what Donald Trump said is that those folks pose a greater threat to United States' peace and security because America is strong enough to stand up to any foreign adversary.
Do you agree with him? They pose a larger threat to the United States than Russia and China?
What he said, and I do agree with this, what he said is that the biggest threat we have in our country, it's not a foreign adversary because we can handle these guys. We can handle foreign conflicts. We can handle, look, under Nancy Pelosi's long life in public leadership, the United States has gone from the preeminent industrial power of the world to second next to China. That fundamentally belongs on Nancy Pelosi's shoulders. And if we're going to have a more prosperous country, we've got to recognize our own leadership is why we lost our industrial base to China. Our own leadership is failing to lead this country into peace and prosperity. And of course, Kamala Harris, look, when I look at the biggest threats to America, Kristen, I think the fact that people can't afford groceries, the fact that we can't meet our recruitment goals in the military, the fact that Americans have a wide open southern border, that's a way bigger threat than any foreign threat. And yes, it's caused by broken leadership.
I'm going to be honest. J.D. Vance is a very good pick. It's like Nancy Pelosi was in charge of the stomach and what the stomach is going to eat. And Trump is like, well, my body is strong, but you might make it weak. Does it make sense?
So all those 10 people, including the former vice president, Mike Pence, all of these people have this horribly damaged worldview, and they're all just going after Donald Trump because they want to send people into war? That's really your argument?
Absolutely.
It's not like these are conservative.
Absolutely, that's my argument.
These are not conservative
Jake,
Republicans. These aren't conservative Republicans who are concerned about Donald Trump. They're not. That's not right.
All of these people, Jake, they came into office thinking that they could control Donald Trump. That when he said he wanted peace in the world,
Mike Pence thought he could control Donald Trump.
Yes, he did. And when he found out that he couldn't, they all turned on Donald Trump.
I'm not saying Republicans didn't do gangster stuff. They did. They definitely did. But let's just talk about right now in the last 20 years. Democrats, I'm sorry. You guys have been funding a lot of wars.
Oh! Sorry, you can't do that.
What the hell, man? How'd you get in here?
I'm your Republican congressman. Now that we're in charge, we're banning porn nationwide.
You can't tell me what to do. Get out of my bedroom, you creep.
I won the last election, so it's my decision. I'm just gonna watch and make sure you don't finish illegally.
That's an interesting commercial, right? For men. See, they generally portray white people in a positive way for the army or in such a way. Democratic group released an ad of a young man choking Papa Smurf in an effort to get people to vote for Kamala Harris. The Democratic Party, the party of deletion and Papa Smurf choking or Mama Smurf's stuffing, if you get what I'm saying. Progress Action Fund and Defend the Vote has released a 2.5 billion ad campaign with the 30-second. Oh my God. I can do, pay me 2.5 million. You, oh my God. I'll do it myself. But you won't accept that because you want a positive message for the black person. You can use me. I'm disabled too to win one.
Don't get me wrong, makosa kita bong. Put the fire na mi blonde kush hash purple skunk criollo colombici jam jam. Durloqueta verdeta welcome.